This is another story of one of the first jobs I got right out of high school. I had kind of grew up in the dairy, but we would do electrical work on the side. My dad was an electrician in the Navy, and he knew electrical, so we would help people wire houses and different things of that nature, fix their breaker box when a breaker box burned up or stuff like that. Well, I wanted to be an electrician, and I knew electrical work from working with my dad, wiring houses. I had started wiring houses when I was 15 on the side, just not for money, but just to help people. Back in them days, people actually helped one another. Somebody would be building a house, and me and my dad would go over and we'd wire it for them. Well, when I got out of high school, I wanted to get me a job as a electrician. I really enjoyed that. Well, in our little hometown, there was a electrical company. I ain't gonna say the name of it, but the company that did electrical, industrial electrical maintenance and wired houses and done repairs for people. They did all way around electrical work. So I went and asked them about a job, and they hired me. And it's an older fella. So I go to work my first day. He basically just had me dusting shelves that first day. Nobody had cleaned his store up in years, and it was just half-inch thick in dust. Well, he had me cleaning that whole warehouse, cleaning all the dust out. I wasn't even doing electrical work. And I came home that evening, and my dad, how'd your first day at work go? I said, it went okay. I said, but he said something to me that was strange. He told me if I was gonna work for him, I was gonna work for him and nobody else. I don't know what he was talking about. And my dad just burst out laughing. As it turns out, my dad had gotten out of the Navy, I'm assuming sometime in the 50s, before my time. He met my mom, got married, and they decided they was gonna start a dairy farm. And he bought some land, and before he could actually get started in the dairy, he had to make money to pay for the land and buy the equipment and cows, et cetera, and so on. So he got a job working in town as an electrician for this same company that I went to work for 30-something years later. But he didn't just work for this man. On the side, on the weekends, he would take on little nitpicking jobs, just making as much money as he could, trying to get our dairy going. And this man found out about it. And he got PO'd. And I don't know if he fired my dad over there or not. My dad never did say. But according to my dad, the jobs he was taking on were just little nitpicking jobs that this man wouldn't have ever done anyway, because this man did big jobs. My dad would just do little nitpicking jobs, fixing something for somebody, little jobs. But he got PO'd about it, and he held that grudge for 30 years. And when I came to work for him, he give me heck. He took all that grudge and he dumped it on me. And he talked to me like I was trash. He treated me like I was trash. You just don't know about people. I can't believe a man held a grudge for 30 years, and not at me, but my dad, and he dumped that grudge on me 30-something years later. But he did, so it is what it is. You just don't know about people. There's something, which is stupid. And I come to find out, the more I worked for him, boy, I could just tell he hated me. I'm assuming because of my dad. I don't know why, but he just gave me heck from the time I started working with him to the time I finally left that company. I'll give you an instance. We went up to a plant one day, probably had 20-foot ceilings, and his son worked for him too, his son, which was older than me. And we walk in, and as he walks by this forklift, he says, "Get on that thing and learn how to use it." I said, "Okay, well, I've been running equipment all my life." I got over there and cranked it up, and up, down, sideways, steer, forward, reverse. Okay, I know how to use it. No big deal. Well, a few minutes later, he comes walking back out there, and we put this box, kind of like a safety, OSHA safety box, on that forklift. And he's gonna put his son in that thing and raise him up to work on these lights at 20 feet high. So we start, and I go to picking him up, and I kind of jerk the lever a little bit, and that box just shakes. He come unglued. "I told you to get on there and learn how to use that thing before you kill somebody." It just vibrated. It ain't gonna kill nobody, you know. But that kind of stuff. From the time I worked with him to the time I left there. So you never know about people when you're working for them, you know, what their problem is or why, you know, if they have a grudge against you, but it's just something how people are. It went on there for a while. I kept working there, and one day this two men walked in. They had been contracted from out of town. I think they were from Tennessee or somewhere, to come in and rewire the nurse call system in the hospital. And they said they needed an extra man to help them, and asked if he had a man that they could subcontract or whatever, sub-hire to come help them. He told them, "Well, this man right here could." And he sent me down there to help them. And it took us, I don't know, a month, 2 months to rewire all the nurse call system in the hospital. When we got through, I came back and said, "Well, we're done with that hospital." He said, "Well, I don't need you." And that was it. I didn't have a job, just like that. I didn't have no job. So, you know, I reckon him sending me down there to help that man was just a way to get rid of me. I don't know. That man just never did make no sense to me. But he probably 80, 90 years old, a little short, crippled man. But anyway, like I said, you just don't know about people. I've worked a lot of places, and I would much prefer to work for myself. If you can start your own business and make it survive and make a living at it, I think you're much better off. Companies that people that hire you, they don't care about you. You're just another tool to them, you know. So with that being said, that's just a little short story I figured I'd let y'all know about. If you like this kind of content, like, subscribe, hit that bell. If you have a story of your own, let me know. We'll put your story on, tell it on here, and let everybody hear your tale. So with that, y'all have a good day. Take care, and God bless.